Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. Happy Monday. It is January 25th. We have one meeting to tell you about today. It's at 9:30 this morning, and it's the third Architectural Control and Standards Committee meeting, and that will be virtual. And you can follow along at lagunawoodsvillage.com/meetings. Now, we had a very busy weekend here in the village, and we have Jeff Parker here to tell us all about COVID-19 numbers, as well as some other items happening here in the village. And then we're going to have Eileen Paulin, who is our Director of Media and Communications, to give us an update on how well the vaccination program went this weekend. So she's going to give us all the latest on that. Now, before we get to that, let's go ahead and tell you about our COVID-19 resources for you. We have covid19.ochealthinfo.com, and of course that is where you can find all the vaccine phase information. Not Laguna Woods, that's outside the village. Now, if you would like to get a vaccine outside the village, you can go to othina.com and register for either the Disneyland pod or the Soka University pod, and they are doing vaccinations every day. So check that out. Now, of course, you could always call the hotline, which is 949-594-2533, and that is our hotline for the vaccination program right here in Laguna Woods, and they'll tell you more information about that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our weather. Wow, lots of rain, and look at the gorgeous snow on the mountains, so it's looking pretty nice. We are expecting additional showers later today. 56-43 tomorrow, partly cloudy and then PM showers. And then Wednesday, partly cloudy and then showers again on Thursday with 65-51. And by Friday, we are still looking at cloudy skies, 59-46. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:51, and our sunset will be at 5:16. And thank you, Sue and Jules, for sending this photo in. And if you have a photo that you'd like to share with us of something around here in the village or someplace else, that is a nice photo. Landscape is good. Laguna Woods Village TV@gmail.com is the email you should send it to. When we come back, we will have Jeff Parker, so stay tuned.
Improving your hearing is the most effective way to prevent cognitive decline. Research shows your brain cannot remember what it doesn't hear. Hi, I'm Ann Mundell-Noel, audiologist and owner of Amazing Hearing. Hearing loss makes understanding harder when others are wearing masks while doing Zoom calls, FaceTime, and watching TV. It's time to enjoy conversations again. Call Amazing Hearing to schedule your hearing appointment. We are the experts and we accept some insurances.
At Diane's Hallmark, we're ready for Valentine's Day. Are you? Come in and see our great selection of cards and gifts. We have everything you need to show that special someone how much you care. And don't forget those grandkids either. Diane's Hallmark has many cards and gifts for them as well. Diane's Hallmark is located in the Marketplace Center, right next to Hobby Lobby. We have something for everyone. Come in today and take care of all your Valentine's Day needs.
At the Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback, you will always find a friendly face to guide you through your annual mammogram visit. Our staff, dedicated subspecialist breast radiologists, knowledge, and innovative technology awaits your visit to our center. With the Laguna Woods shuttle service right at our sidewalk, this convenient location offers you quick access for your appointment. You can expect nothing but the best for all your breast health needs at Memorial Care Breast Center, Saddleback.
Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Jeff Parker here who has some slightly good news. I don't want to set it all up to be really good news, but at least it's a little bit better than what we've had in the past. Happy Monday.
Yeah, we have some new numbers, and those numbers are reflected on an action that took place this morning, and I'll mention that in just a minute. But with regards to Orange County, as reported yesterday, positive cases were 1,795, which again continues to see that dropping, where we were up in the 3,000 and we went in the 2,000. Now we're at 1795, so it's good gradual decrease. Unfortunately, there were 13 deaths reported yesterday, and 10 of those in the area of just normal residential, and then 3 in assisted living and skilled nursing, which we've seen those kind of numbers before. Probably the big positive number, and leads me into my point, is that hospitalizations are down. So 1,732 hospitalizations, that's compared to 1,935 just last Friday when we talked. So 200 reduction in hospitalization beds, and a 50 down on our ICU.
That's good.
We were at 517 all the way down to 467. So dropping that amount is being reflected not only in Orange County, but throughout the state. And as of this morning at 8 o'clock, the governor lifted the stay-at-home order. That was a regional stay-at-home order. Now, he had lifted some already in Northern California and some of the better regions, but for us, the stay-at-home order goes away. And what that means is we're back to the colored zones, the purple zone, the red zone. So we'll be watching that. It's going to allow some activities to start up again outside. We'll be waiting to hear from Orange County what that entails in detail, but we do know that there's some more activities outside that you can do. Some of the nail salons that we've talked about, and outside dining areas. So those are activities that can start up again. And I know those are long waited, and I know that that's been one of the consternations with regards to the stay-at-home order is people wanting to go out to and business shop and do activities and be out there. And so it's good that the numbers are dropping. Unfortunately, in Laguna Woods, the community of Laguna Woods, our numbers actually have gone up. We're at 310 cases. We were at 301 before, when we went up 1 additional death from 21 to 22. So I don't want to, even though the stay-at-home order has gone away, when you look at our purple zone, we are obviously still very, very high in our cases per 100,000 and the positivity rate. So it's important for people to understand, yes, that's good news, that some things can reopen, and there's no doubt about that from the business point of view, but you're still at risk out there, and people need to be very conscious of that, wearing their masks, washing their hands, social distancing. And the vaccines are rolling out. I know you got Eileen coming up and talk about what we did this weekend, but one vaccine, one shot, doesn't give you immunity from this. It's all about getting 2 shots with the Moderna and the Pfizer one. And that's real important. I had a person that I knew, they got COVID after having the first shot.
Really?
So it does happen. And I think it's important for people to understand it's not pure immunity by the fact that you get 1 shot. And so don't overdo it when you get out there. Don't think you can not wear masks and social distance. Still needs to be done. And we still want to protect our community. That's the important thing.
Yeah, all of that does need to stay in place. Now, interestingly, what happens is, I believe the first shot that you get is about a 60%. So that's similar to what the flu vaccine does. But to be fully immune to the 4% it is, you do have to have that second shot. So that's definitely something to keep in mind, like you said.
It's real important.
Yeah. And then one last question for you regarding what does the lifting of the stay-at-home order mean for us here in the village?
Probably the most significant thing is the restaurant at the golf course, where they had been shut down completely. Now we can, assuming the Orange County follows the purple tier operations, then outside patio activity could then occur with social separation and distancing and everything. But at least that activity could start up again. We'll be communicating with the Orange County Health and also with the restaurant to see the timing of getting that back open. Yeah,
providing our weather holds out. I mean, we have had quite a bit of rain.
That's an important part too. And then as far as our activities, as many activities that can be held outside, we'll continue to do that kind of an operation.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for the information. And then we'll see you again on Friday.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned because we're going to have Eileen Paulin, who's our Director of Media and Communications, come on and give us an update about the vaccination program. Stay tuned.
By staying home, the community of Orange County has made a difference. But doing so shouldn't mean putting your own health at risk. Hogue wants you to know that safe, quality care is available. Don't ignore or delay the medical attention you need. From routine checkups to revolutionary treatments, Hogue is here for you, just as we have been for almost 70 years. Like no other time before, your healthcare choices matter. Get the care you need from the name you trust.
Welcome back. I'm Kiana Lee. With us today is Dr. Christine Chung of 7-Day Dental. She has great news for seniors. Doctor, why don't you tell us the exciting news?
Mom. We know there are many seniors living with tooth pain. 7-Day Dental is starting a new program called Seniors First. Seniors who are 65 years or older will get initial free exams and x-rays.
That is so nice, Doctor. Call your nearest 7-Day Dental to get your 7-Day Dental smile.
Welcome to the Meridian at Laguna Hills, a newly multi-million-dollar renovated community. Located in beautiful southern Orange County, the Meridian at Laguna Hills blends quality senior care onto the bright canvas of Laguna Hills Live. With a luxurious 5-star resort-style community and a dedication to resident care, you can experience an exquisite senior lifestyle unlike any other. Discover a community filled with care and the freedom to pursue what matters most. It's a new day and it's yours. Make the most of it at the Meridian at Laguna Hills.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Cups, plates, burgers, chips, masks, outdoor air, 6 feet of distance, as few people as possible, and plenty of hand soap. Make sure lowering the risk of spreading COVID-19 is on your list for your next small gathering.
Do your part to lower the risk.
To help stop the coronavirus, the CDC recommends to avoid contact with people who are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Stay home when you are sick, except to get medical care. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. For more information, contact the CDC. A message from Village Management Services.
Welcome back. Well, I have Eileen Paulin here, and welcome to this
Thanks,
day.
Lisa. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and I know you were a busy bee this weekend. I mean, you poor thing. You told me you were hitting the sack at 8:30 last night. So
well, that was just fine, and it just wasn't me because, you know, I hate to keep using the cliche, it takes a village, but the village was out this weekend,
right.
And it took a whole lot of people to make the event happen. So,
right.
You know, as you know, we started on Friday. It was the first day of our village vaccination project. We purposely chose a smaller amount to work on just so we could learn as we go. Mm-hmm. This is certainly nothing I've ever done before in my life. The good news is working with Memorial Care, they have been through a few clinics with their own staff. What a well-oiled machine. I just can't tell you, they're really amazing.
Right. I mean, you mentioned that. You said there were a lot of folks over there.
There were. I was just trying to kind of quickly run the numbers in my head, but there were several hundred Memorial Care volunteers here this weekend. All their top doctors, you know, some of their well-renowned cardiologists and all types of pulmonologists. I kept running into people, you know, left and right, asking them what they did. A lot of them brought family members that were in the medical profession as well. well.
Okay.
Each station, what people didn't realize is once they sat down, they may be of only speaking with one doctor or nurse, but there were 3 or 4 support people there for each vaccination station just because of all the IT and the information that has to be kept track of. So,
Right.
yeah.
Now, so tell me a little bit about how it worked. I mean, obviously they had to have an appointment to get there.
Right.
So start from there.
Well, we learned a lot. We felt and we still do. We still feel that going forward, at least for the next couple of weekends, we do have to really stress the importance of appointments. I've learned a lot. It was a mini medical school education and kind of how the vaccine works. And we did learn there's a certain part of this that's difficult because if we have no-shows and the vaccine's ready to go, it needs to get into an arm.
Right.
And as a result, I've learned, and I think many of our residents did, we have to have some flexibility. So we were able to accommodate some walk-ins. I do think we probably are going to be doing that as we go forward. As you can understand, it went pretty well. It got a little unruly at point, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Memorial Care team is so efficient. And I think the biggest message I want to give to people about the whole walk-up thing is just really help them follow their procedure, because what you don't realize when you're standing outside is a decision that the pharmacists have to make inside about how many of these doses are brought down to the right temperature and prepared to be injected.
Right.
So that was a lot. That went well, but it did go well. On Saturday, obviously it rained. We all know that. I had forgotten what it was like to be soaking wet. I used to be that way as a kid, but that was fine. That's why we were there. One thing I'd like to just touch on, there were some comments in social media about, oh, look, they made those people stand out in the rain. That is not farther from the truth. I personally walked that line probably 75 times during the day, explaining to people how we had it set up, the fact that we were taking appointments first, and that if they chose to stand there, that was fine, but we really were not advising it. We were advising that they come back later. But people are pretty desperate to get this vaccine, and they chose to stand there. It was a big issue for us as well because social distancing. I would say if there's one thing we really need to improve on, and that I have to put on each of us as individuals. People were just forgetting to social distance. They'd get a little cranky when you'd ask them to back up a little bit, stop breathing on their neighbor. But for the most part, it went really well. I'd like to commend some of our residents who just came to the rescue. I made a couple phone calls that we needed some help, some hands-on. Diane Phelps and Joan Brown just rallied the troops. And a lot of it is on-the-job learning. We've learned a lot. The Memorial Care group I just can't say enough good things about them. They just know what they're doing. And every night there would be a debrief. And a lot of times things would change. So if somebody maybe had been there one day with a spouse and maybe another person in their household had an appointment the next day, well, you're not doing it the same way. Well, we're not doing it the same way because they're trying something that would be more efficient, because the big goal is just to move as many people through as we can.
Right. So tell me again about the walk-up situation. So we have those people who have their appointments scheduled. And then at what point do you start to take a walk-in?
Well, it's interesting because we did it different ways. The first day it was like you had to wait till the end that all of the appointments, and then we took them.
Okay.
Second day we were still working a lot of things out. Yesterday they tried something that was it seemed like it was going to work, and unfortunately some of our residents created a big problem for us, and I want to talk about that for a minute. But they had tried this so that every hour they would look at their stats and sort of see where the no-shows were, or, fortunately we have residents that are starting to get into Disney and people that have already been into SoCA, so they didn't need the vaccine, so that it's there for someone else. So they're trying to gauge all this. So what they were trying to do is hourly go out to that line and say, okay, we can take X number.
I see.
And the Memorial Care people were issuing numbers. And unfortunately, we had a group in our community, and I have to be really frank, I was really embarrassed. They were very rude, not very nice to the Memorial Care folks, and they started playing around with their system. They'd been given numbers, and they were coming out and giving the number to their friend, thinking that might help. Well, it ruined the methodology that was going on inside. So what ended up happening is right at the end of the day, because the pharmacist was trying to accommodate all those people that waited all day, they brought too many doses down and we ended up all of a sudden with these extra, like I want to say 75 doses, and those have got to get into arms.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm being very honest with people. We just made phone calls.
Yes.
We're like, if you're 75 and older, get down here. The communication in this village blows me away. Within 5 minutes, there were like almost 300 people.
Right.
But again, Memorial Care had an answer for that. And those people all know that those that did get in their car and came down and were polite will be accommodated. There's a special plan, so they're going to hear from us this week. So it's a work it out as it goes.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably have a master's degree in vaccination clinics by the time we're done. But
well, you know, you have to look at what you have put together. I mean, you kind of led the charge through this whole thing, and it took a lot of planning and coordination.
In less than 3 weeks. That's what people need to, they need to realize. Right. And I think that it's just, we have this whole theme of kindness here in the village. Right. This is an important time to really get back to that. And I wanted to also mention that there's a social media platform that many of our residents are familiar with called Nextdoor.
Yeah.
Nextdoor did some real damage this weekend, and I really want the people on it that are making the negative comments to know that. One of the lead nurses somehow has access to the village next door, perhaps has a mother or father living in here, and saw these uninformed comments. And they were shared with the senior management at our debrief meeting, and it was really, I just come back to being embarrassed because I look at this as my community as well. And the best thing that I, could say to them at the end of the day is just please don't listen. In fact, probably the best thing to do, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah.
I came home at night and read some of these comments. I mean, somebody made a comment that VMS forced all those people to stand out there in the rain.
Right.
And my comment to that is, you know not of what you speak. And there's another something that's going on in Nextdoor right now that I want to mention, and it's really going to undermine what we're doing. Part of it is we're only human beings. I know people think we have these huge staffs, but really at this point, I'm primary the one that's making the decisions and making things happen with Memorial Care. It's been mentioned to me that there's a discussion of having a protest tomorrow at the community center. And I have to tell you, I want those people to really stop and think about that, because we have a huge opportunity here. We have a lot of people who can't drive to Disney and can't drive to SoCa and need this brought to them. Right. And the media has really been our friend. I've worked very hard with the media, as has Memorial Care, and they've really helped us get the word out and the correct word out. The last thing in the world I need to deal with is a whole negative event tomorrow.
Right.
That will really, I understand that people are frustrated. I know they're anxious. I got to see it firsthand over the weekend, but this just isn't the time. It's really time to stop and realize we're still in a pandemic. We had some people show up at the clinic that have COVID.
Oh boy.
If that didn't make people jump back a little bit, oh, I have COVID. Probably you should not be here.
Exactly.
So, it's really the time to stop thinking about yourself, how you want, how you feel, what you want to do. And really, I saw 102-year-olds, 104-year-olds, 98-year-olds that we were able to vaccinate.
That's great.
And I would like us to be able to concentrate on that.
Right.
So.
Now, just to go back on what are they protesting about? Does it have anything to do with the vaccines?
No, I don't think it has anything to do with the vaccine. Okay. I think it has to do with the fact of frustration that everything's not open. Well, somebody even made a comment like, why don't you just stick up plexiglass like the DMV and get everybody back to work? Well, you know what? I'm just going to speak selfishly for a minute. I have issues with my family. I have a 92-year-old father. I have been very, very careful. Right. In fact, I was asking myself, why am I among all these people? I've been, isolating for 11 months. I believe in what we're doing, and so I'm taking a chance. I'm double masking, and I'm out there. But look what happened with the fitness center. Just stop and think about that.
Yep.
And we're sharing it among ourselves. Our employees, we have gone through in the last couple of weeks a very large outage of people with COVID, including some of our key directors that run the things that these folks are upset about.
Oh, I see.
So I really just want people to just stop and understand we're all looking out for each other.
Right. So, good. And 3,000, you met the allotment.
We did. I mean, we may be off one or two, but I'm not, at this point, on Monday, I'm not privy to that. But the towers went very smoothly. That group was all done.
Right.
We had a big day yesterday.
That
we
is
did,
awesome.
We did over 1,200 people yesterday.
That is awesome. Now, we have been pretty good about informing people of the hotline. How is that going?
Well, I would say we've got some work to do on the hotline. We're glad they're there. First of all, it's important for people to understand that's not resident services. That is a group that we had to bring in because we needed a resource, and they're used to working these kinds of medical type of events. A lot of people had their questions answered. There was a lot of confusion. People were saying to me, I got a phone call that I have an appointment. Nobody called you. That was someone else that called you. We made no outgoing phone call appointments for this weekend. However, I do know that we had asked the call center not to try to get involved in confirming appointments this first time around, and it sounds like they probably did. I have some work to do today. Chuck and I will be, just going into that. But I think, we're getting there. And as we move through the different segments of the population, we will be making phone calls, but we're just not there yet.
That's great. One last thing is that I know you had some folks that came up and said, well, you don't have my correct phone number. What do people need to do?
They need to call resident services during business hours. People don't understand. We had somebody pushing their way. They were very angry and pushing their way in that we have a 6-year-old phone number for them. And they wanted somebody at Memorial Care to fix their phone number, first of all, which obviously that's not the right source for that. And they're very upset that I didn't know their new 6-year-old phone number. Well, how would I know that if you didn't call and tell us I changed my phone number? And of course the response was, you should just know. So I had to kind of smile and say, all right, well, doing my best. Also, we had a couple interesting things. Spouses had passed away.
Oh boy.
And where the surviving spouse, the deceased spouse got an appointment, and the surviving spouse came. And if they were quite elderly, we did accommodate that. I am not going to have a 98-year-old couple, both very frail, in the pouring rain. One got the appointment. We did make some accommodations. And as I think has been previously explained, we just weren't prepared to put households together yet. We're working on it. We're just getting better and better at it.
So give me an idea of what's the next step here?
Well, there'll be a lot of meetings probably over the next couple days between myself and Memorial Care. Just, what did we learn? What would we do differently? Our biggest problem is allocation. Now, and that's the other reason why we were following the rules, which was upsetting people. I'm 4 in one day or something like that. We have to follow the rules, folks, or we're not going to get the allocation. So we, Lisa Bartlett was there on Saturday. She saw it run. The top people at Memorial Care have, some influence with the county. I would say if you're a person that concentrates on positive thinking, concentrate on hoping that we get the allocation.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
We'll keep everybody informed as much as possible.
Well, thank you to everyone else that's been helping. It's been great.
All right. All right, well, we've run out of time for today, but thank you for joining us, and join us again tomorrow right here at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.
At Harvard Eye, we're so happy to be open again to see you for all of your medical and surgical eye care. We're taking great care to protect everyone from COVID-19 by seeing fewer patients, spacing out chairs in the lobby, sanitizing our office constantly, and doing much more. The world is changing a lot, but what hasn't changed is we're honored by your trust and confidence and committed to keeping you safe. We can't wait to see you again.
Silver
and gold. Consider it sold.
The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest will buy your gold, diamonds, fine watches, coins, and sterling serviceware, regardless of condition. With metals at an all-time high, now is the time to sell. Visit us in person or shop online from the comfort of home.
Silver and gold. Consider it sold.
At the Jewelry Box, it's about trust.